The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to Dueling Comedians, where two comedians clash to see whose comedy kills and who gets killed.
Figuratively speaking, of course.
All this to determine who claims the coveted Dueling Comedians trophy. This is Dueling Comedians.
I am Tony V, and this is Dueling Comedians, and there's not a damn thing you can do about that right now. I am honored. I don't get honored a lot. I'm usually the one who people go, oh, we're honored to have you. But I'm here with one of my oldest, longest, and soon-to-be ex-friends, Frank Santorelli. And I dare say we've been doing stand-up comedy together for longer than we care to think about it.
Yes.
And if Frank looks familiar to some people or sounds familiar to some people, it's because he was a recurring character on one of the best TV shows that was ever on television called The Sopranos. He's been in several movies, Meet the Parents, being one of them.
The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker. He's one of the things that blows up. It was a very short piece of the movie.
I was a dead body.
It was a dead body.
That got blown apart.
He got thrown. Well, pieces of him got thrown about 40 feet.
Did all my own stunts.
Yeah.
Which was huge.
They put him back together.
Stunt pay. You get stunt pay.
Yeah. We also did some time together in New York City. We lived together in New York City for a time. On the corner,
a one-room apartment.
On the corner of 1st Avenue and 9th Street above a bodega. And mayhem ensued. It was like living in a Winnebago that didn't go anywhere. You remember that apartment?
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
It was a studio apartment, and at different times there were 4 or 5 of us in it.
Right.
And
people sleeping in our stairwell.
Oh, yeah. To get in, we'd have to step over people.
Right. To walk up the stairs.
Right. You'd smell urine, step over a guy, and go, hey, Barney, did I get any mail?
That's true. That is the truth.
And this is how long ago it was in New York. What they call the East Village now was the Lower East Side when we were there.
Yes.
Right, and you could depend. It would depend on how the economy was.
And so this 24-hour store, right?
Yep.
So they had deliveries all night long. So people would pull up in their trucks and then back up, and you hear beep, beep, beep all night long. So we maintained that people would go there to practice backing up.
That was
in front of our apartment.
Right.
We just couldn't believe it.
Insane.
It was, and then the guy would leave it in like reverse, and it'd just be beep, beep for like 10 minutes straight.
Here's how you know you've been in New York too long, by the way. I remember one morning at 6:30 waking up to the sound of, oh, my God, he's got a gun, duck. And I just went, oh, good, I can sleep another 2 hours. I didn't even go to the window to see who had the gun or who was having it.
Exactly. And there was no reason to be frightened, too, because, we'd be walking on the street, going to this bar, and here comes a 90-year-old woman pushing her cart, and she lives right here. And I said, hi. And she said, hi. She looks up at me. She's wearing a green hat, and the orange letters said Heineken. And she was 90.
Right.
I said, where'd you get that hat?
Right.
I wanted the hat from her.
Right. That was an ill-fated Heineken commercial that they were doing at the time. It was some marketing that really didn't go anywhere.
Yes.
The hat on the 90-year-old drunk.
Yes.
Right.
So Tony helped me out when I first came to Boston. I walked in.
You're from, tell people where you're from.
I was from Cleveland, and I moved here. I just came here for a weekend. And a guy said, listen, I'm friends with Tony. We're going to go to the show. You're not going to get up. There's going to be nobody there booking anything. We'll just go there and hang out. There's 100 comedians that want to go on. I walk in the door. Tony goes, you're next. I was like, huh? And I went up, and I was sensational.
You really did kill.
I killed. And I got work like coming out of my ears like for the next 20 years.
Right.
So that's really, I'm serious. That's how it started.
Unfortunately, we're about 35 years in, so the last 15 has not been great.
No.
But there was that first 20 were killer.
Right.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room. They're the Sopranos. You're on that.
Yeah, I'm on the Sopranos. It's the 20th anniversary. It's been called the greatest written television show of all time.
Right. Right. And you played, we'll tell
I played
people.
Georgie, the bartender.
Right.
Well, not really the bartender. There's no such thing as a male bartender in a strip club for men.
You were the bar back.
I was a bar back.
Right.
And
fetch ice.
Get ice, make sure no one's messing with the strippers. And
right.
And so, I was.
And there was like a long-running gag where you would get beat up.
I got beat up.
Right.
I'd walk into the bada bang, and the crew would start screeching because I was in there. I was like a battle bot, in Thunderdome.
Right.
I'd walk in, they go, Georgie's here. He's going to get beat up, man. It's going to be great. And so I'd be like, yes. I'd walk in, and they'd go, Georgie. Crew hanging stuff would be like, Georgie. Nobody knew my real name. Everybody called me Georgie.
Right. And were you apprised of the item you would be beaten with, or was that a complete surprise?
Oh, yeah. What happened was, this is for real, right at the very beginning, Gandolfini hit somebody in the eye with a golf club. I ain't kidding you. You know the scene where they're at the golf course?
Oh, yeah.
There. He goes back like this and hits somebody. So the union was all over us. You're going to get hit with this phone. I go, okay. It's going to hurt. Yes, you're not going to get hurt, but it's going to hurt. And is that okay? And I said, yeah. You don't want a stunt double? I go, no. And so the guy calls me aside. He goes, you're getting stunt pay. I said, really? He goes, yeah. So I got like an extra $750 to
actually get beat up.
To get stunt pay. And they would pad everything down to make sure I didn't get hurt. And nothing was real. And I still get people that go, hey, you look pretty good. And I go, excuse me? Well, you got beat up all the time on The Sopranos. I go, it's a freaking TV show, you idiot. It's not real.
Don't you love that?
What is wrong with you? You look good, man. You got beat up. Yeah, it's a TV show. What is wrong with you? Like, I really got hit over the head. Yeah. It's amazing.
I one time did a commercial for Boston.com. It was pretty iconic around here. It's snowing. And the guy, I'm shoveling out a parking space in Southie. And then a yuppie kid comes and wants to park in the space, and the kid goes, sir, do you mind if I park in the space? And, you'd think the guy was going to flip out. And I'd go, no, come, move right in. So the commercial ran for a while, and I had an old buddy of mine from Somerville where I grew up call up. He called me up. I hadn't heard from him in years. He goes, Tone, it's, blah, blah, blah. And I go, yeah, how you doing, man? I haven't heard from him in a while. He goes, yeah, not for nothing. That commercial, why didn't you wrap that guy in the face with a shovel?
I remember you were in the Chase Lounge sitting out in front.
Yeah. And I go, yeah, I'll take that under advisement for next time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people don't really get that.
How come you don't hit him back? You're bigger than he is. Right. I'm not kidding. I go, right. What? Like I have some decision-making power.
Right. But you got, look, it's in the TV world, getting beat up by the star is like, that's an honor.
Absolutely.
And you got beat up by Joe Pantoliano. Right.
The cops, all kinds of different ways. Yeah, I got beat up like 6 or 7 different ways.
Right.
Chain with lock on the end of it, a cash register drawer.
I think the most iconic is the singing fish.
The singing fish, the Billy Bass.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. You got whacked around with a.
It was made of balsa wood. So when he hit me with it, it exploded into 1,000 pieces. It was hilarious. It just went all over the place.
I got to say, I don't think there's anybody else on the planet who can make that claim that they were beat up with a fish.
That's right.
Unless you're out in the outback and we don't know about it. Like up in the tundra of Alaska. Right?
A singing fish, baby.
You haven't lived until you get smacked in the face with a mackerel.
And so this is great. This is a great show. It's fun to be on.
So it's good. And then we got the duel coming up in a little bit.
I'm ready to
Where
kick
can people
ass.
find you?
Where can they find me? fsantorelli76@gmail.com. franksantorelli.net.
All right.
I give you my website.
We're not going anywhere, but it will appear that
commercial?
we do. Yeah.
Hey, Alexa, subscribe to the Dueling Comedians podcast, will ya? That's a good girl.
You hear what I'm saying?
This is David Garofalo, and you've heard me say it over and over again for many years. Please support your local cigar retailer. And I mean it. If you don't buy from them, they will go away, and then what? There'll be no place to go. That being said, sometimes you're far away from any cigar shops or a place that doesn't carry the stuff you've been hearing about and you want to try it. That's where twoguyscigars.com comes in. It's the number twoguyscigars.com. And unlike most online cigar shops, at twoguyscigars.com, you can buy a single cigar of whatever you want. You don't have to buy boxes or even 5-packs and suffer through cigars you might not even like. One of this and one of that is acceptable, appreciated, and commonplace at twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Thank you for your business.
You are itching to hit that button. You are itching to hit that Dueling Comedians button. Before we do that, let's introduce, as always, the glue that holds this show together, the grease that makes the wheel spin, the guy that knows everything and is a bundle of energy and joy to behold, my pal, Laugh Track Larry.
Hi.
Coked up out of his mind.
That was in the 80s.
He did some hard partying.
I gotta say, Tony, I'm kind of nervous. I've never been so close to a big TV star.
Hey, you're still not.
And I'm a guest here.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
You're our guest. You're making this thing hum. And so you gave your email when we were going to break. Where can people see you?
I'm at Giggles this weekend.
Oh.
In Saugus, the Leaning Tower pizza joint.
Yeah.
Giggles, you're very familiar with it.
Yes, I'm there a lot as well. Also, you don't need to know what weekend. Chances are one of us is there.
That's right. The weekend following, I'm at the Kowloon.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is
so it's
great.
a whole Saugus month for me.
Wow. You got them coming and going. This is fantastic.
I go from the Chinese restaurant to the Italian place.
But you also travel nationally.
I do. Every once in a while, I'll do like the Chicago Zanies or something if they'll let me in.
Yeah, we both did a show out in Rosemont, Illinois. Do you remember this?
I do.
There was a town about the size of a parking lot at a Walmart.
Yes.
And
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the big money one.
The big money one.
The big money one.
Yeah.
The one you found out that you didn't get the big money.
Yeah, you got huge money.
I got the big money.
And I got not so huge money.
You did not. And as I was just getting ready to go on stage, he was naming all these comedians that were horrible to take big money to.
Right.
And the last one, they go, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Frank Santorelli. And the guy goes, Tony V. Do you know a guy named Tony V?
Funny.
He was just here like a month ago. He was funny.
That's funny. Yeah. and now any TV or movies?
Nothing.
I haven't had anything in a while either. Tick off some of the movies you've been in.
I was in Meet the Parents. I was in that's it.
That's all right.
I was in the movie Meet the Parents. I can't even think of it anymore. What the heck else?
What was the one where you throw the fish?
Where I throw the fish?
Is it Selma Hayek?
No. What are you talking about? What you talking about,
Don't
Willis?
you play a fishmonger in one or something?
Oh, yeah. No reservations.
No reservations.
I was the lobster salesman at the fish market.
I know that's something to do with
and it was a
seafood.
funny thing because you know who was there was Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, that's who it was.
And she was on fire, beautiful. And I walked up and I go, "Is Mike here?" And she got mad.
You know, that's the thing about comedians.
She got mad at me. I was like, "Where's Mike? Isn't Mike coming to this shoot?" Michael Douglas.
Michael
you know
Douglas,
what I mean?
right.
Where's Mike? She was mad.
You know, that's the thing about comedians. We are so used to just not
busting
caring.
chops,
and actors are just
they're
the
very
opposite.
serious.
I've gotten myself in more trouble on sets,
absolutely,
thinking I was being hysterical.
Sure.
And you know, have people pull me aside and go,
right.
no, just walk to your mark, do your line. It's costing us $1 million an hour, so please keep your remarks to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, that happens to us all the time. So.
No reservations. I was in a movie called. It was in Brooklyn, shot with Burt Young.
Oh,
I was in a movie with Burt Young.
Yeah.
Rocky's brother. Burt Young in the movie Rocky. And he goes, "Hey, Rocky, you bowling my sister?" Him. Yeah, and so he was great. I can't think of the name of it. Oh, my God. Maybe I should have come prepared with the movies.
Yeah. Well, if you
but
want to plug
nothing
yourself,
huge.
yeah.
Nothing huge.
But they can find you locally. And do you have a website?
I do, franksantorelli.com.
There you go. So you can find Frank. That can only mean one thing, Frank.
Right.
It's time to duel.
Right.
Okay.
I'm ready, baby.
Ready?
Got it. So Albert Broccoli, the producer of all of the James Bond films, his grandfather invented broccoli. 150 years ago, he brought it back from Italy. It's a hybrid of asparagus and cauliflower. It is named after him. Totally made up.
I was on Route 95, which I find myself often, and I'm driving, and I see off to the side there's a cemetery on the side, right on the side of the road, Breakdown Lane Cemetery.
Wow!
And I can't imagine that was anybody's last request. You know, my life was very unauspicious. Just throw me by the side of the road like an old cat.
So, I'm a comedian, and I'm working with Tom Hayes, and his son comes up and goes, "You're a comedian? Just like my dad." And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "I want to be an astronaut." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." And he stops and he looks down and he goes, "Is there a lot of paperwork to being an astronaut?" I said, "Yes, a lot."
I'll go with the astronaut theme with you. I saw an article that claimed that at least 20 space shuttle pilots went up drunk. Like they were in the space shuttle.
Oh, man.
Drunk.
Wow.
Right, because you're not actually flying the thing.
No.
And then I thought about it. When you boil down what you got to be to an astronaut, someone goes to you, "All right, what do I got to do?" All right, here's what happens. We put you in something about the size of a refrigerator box, and we stick that on the side of 250,000 gallons of the most flammable shit we own. And then we light it on fire. You go up through the atmosphere at escape velocity, roughly 7 miles a second. And then you float around the void of nothingness with people you don't know. You want to go? Yeah. Can I have a couple drinks before I go? Absolutely.
Sure.
Sign me up.
Wait, I shouldn't be laughing. I'm helping the guy. This is bullshit, man. My mother, all comedians talk about their mothers and their mothers, they say funny things. My mother's 82 years old. She goes, "These kids nowadays, they're all hopped up on goofballs and Christ knows what all." And so I said, "Goofballs? You watching Dragnet again, Mom?"
Well, he really liked that one. Yeah, he did. He did. I was driving down the road the other day. I saw a sign, right? It said pony rides, $12. I pulled up. I handed the guy $12. He put a little horse in the back seat of my car. Said have him back by 6.
So I'm 61 years old. I'm starting to grow breasts. Totally unexpected. I just didn't see that one coming, I got kicked out of curves for not being a woman. I'm like, can you make an exception? I'm a C cup.
I went to the Registry of Motor Vehicles not too long ago. They asked me if I wanted to become an organ donor. And I said, sure, but not mine. I'll get you what you need. That's it. It's that simple, man.
It's over?
That's it. It's that quick and that easy.
The buzz is
That's
over.
the buzz. That was it. 4
I had one more
laughs.
bit I wanted to do.
Okay.
It goes by very quick.
I was on the CBS morning program. The
Doesn't
lowest
count, by the way.
lowest rated programming in the history of morning television on CBS in like the 80s. They were putting comedians on at 7:05 in the morning. Imagine people at home watching comedy at 7:15 in the morning.
That's over. Yeah.
Don't get up.
For everybody listening and not watching, that was a visual joke.
That was visual.
All right, Larry, who won this week?
Come on.
I had no idea Frank was so funny. I saw him on The Sopranos. Tony's dead, so I don't have to worry about any repercussions. Therefore, I can declare Tony V the winner.
This is bullshit, man.
All right. Well, you're undefeated. I'm undefeated so far. Yeah. Well, that was another episode of Dueling Comedians. Like us on Facebook. It'll link right to us. This is the UPN Network. We'll see you again. Thanks for listening.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21, Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.